My husband is currently on a date with another woman, so clearly he's going to leave me for her, and my marriage is done and my life is over. Except for the fact that I'm non-monogamous, and so this is the first time, and nor will it be the last. I am Danielle. I've been open for about 13 years. I was just talking to someone who recently opened up her relationship, and her husband's going to be away for the weekend for the first time with someone else, and what were my recommendations for her, because she was terrified about how she was going to feel about her husband being physically and emotionally with someone else. My advice to her was to do something for herself, something that felt indulgent, that she would really enjoy, and maybe something that her husband wouldn't enjoy that much with her. Another piece of advice to her was to not go on a date, because a date might be distracting, but at the same time it doesn't let you really process the emotions that you're feeling in that situation. Because I think when your husband is on a date with someone else, it's pretty human to feel a lot of emotions: jealousy, anger, confusion, frustration, excitement, joy for him. I used to always take myself out to Chinese food, not like takeout Chinese food, like really fancy Chinese food, and sit there with my journal and just think through how I was feeling. It includes asking myself, yeah, am I really okay with this? And for those suddenly very concerned that I have been brainwashed and gaslit and coerced, I assure you, I am okay with being in an open relationship and my husband dating. And yes, I date too. 13 years later, how do I feel when my husband is on a date with someone else? So tonight is a first date for them, and so I guess I'm curious how it's gonna go, and other than that, I'm pretty neutral. He's had girlfriends in the past, and so usually when he's going out with someone that I know he really cares about, then I'm excited for him. I'm really happy. Even when he's dated someone serious in the past, I've never felt like it threatens our relationship, and it's definitely easier after 13 years. Our relationship has a lot of freedom, but it also has a lot of love, which is ultimately what makes this work.
There's one guy that was too nice for me. And like it was the wrong place, wrong time. It was one of those, you know what I mean? That I wasn't in the state of mind to receive.
So when he was too nice, what did you do?
I guess shut him down. You know what I mean? Like I just shut him down. Because it made me, my issue was, the more like you give to me, the more I feel like I owe you something. So when a person is so giving and I'm not ready to receive it, it makes me feel emotionally responsible for them. You know what I mean? Because they're doing XYZ for me, I have to be doing this, you know what I mean? And I have to be giving them that. And sometimes people just give to give. It's not a game of like give and take. But I find it really hard to not give back if someone is giving me something, you know? And because I was in a place where I couldn't give, but I was receiving, I felt almost sorry for the guy, you know what I mean? And then I felt emotionally responsible because he deserved better, but I couldn't give him better. You get me?
But do you think he deserves better?
I think he did deserve better. For how nice he was.
Like, for me, this whole nice thing,
Nice is, I'll break down the nice. A lot of quality time when he doesn't have a lot of time. A lot of resources put on me. A lot of protection and attention. Remembering every single thing from like the smallest of details, which is a huge thing for me because
that's beautiful.
I tend to think guys don't remember anything. Like they just don't listen. Guys are so forgetful. So he actually ticked every single box. Just didn't feel right. But and also he's a bit too controlling too soon. But everything else he ticked.
One of the biggest predictors of divorce? Men who can't do this one thing. I'm Dr. Katz, a clinical psychologist, and this is Psych Talk, where I make psychology easier to understand. According to research by the Gottman Institute, the strongest predictor of marriage is this: men being open to influence from their partner. My own marriage had a great example of this the other day. I came home exhausted. I was already irritated. I'd been messing around with software trying to get that to work for the past 2 hours. My wife asked me to take the kids and bring food to a dinner that we had already planned while she stayed back and finished cooking. I said yes, reasonable request, but I was dragging my feet. I was angry. I was tired. I had a long day. I was clearly acting annoyed. So she turned to me and she finally said, "Daniel, I've been working all day and I've been cooking for the past 3 hours. And now you're acting like this over that one simple request? I'm really frustrated." In that moment, I knew she was right. I was still angry. Emotions were still hot. I was still trying to understand what was going on, but I knew she had a point. So I just said, yeah, that makes sense. Later, I was able to reflect on it and think, oh, I was acting selfish. I was too stuck in my own head and frustration from the day. In that moment, I couldn't say that. I could just agree with her. Later, we apologized and I told her those things. And that's what accepting influence actually looks like. It's not agreeing because you feel calm and rational. It's not agreeing just to appease them. It's being able to say, she might have a point here. I might be off. You know what? They're right. Even when your emotions are still hot. And so later, we both apologized. And we moved on with our lives. We had a great time at the dinner. So 2 skills that make any relationship work: being open to influence and admitting when you're wrong. It's simple, but it's not easy.
A lot of modern women continue to say that men aren't putting forth effort. Yes, I am. I'm just not giving you the effort. Because you on some BS.
You're dating a man and he forgot to get you flowers. Amazing. He flirted with your best friend. Spectacular. The more this man shows you his true colors now, the better. Because you're not married to him yet, right? So when that man shows up late, doesn't text you back, takes 80 days to respond, ghosts you, flirts with your friend, that is all good. Because he's showing you who he truly is. And dating is for collecting data, and you can jot that down and think, would my future husband act like that? And then the answer is yes or no. And then you can decide to move on from that man because he gave you enough information to do so. I used to think anytime a man disrespected me, gave a red flag, I was like, I felt horrible. I was like, oh no, like this hurts so bad. Like, I can't believe he would do that to me. Now my mindset is completely different. The more that man shows you his bad behaviors, his bad characteristics up front early in dating, that is a blessing that you get to see it sooner. Because can you imagine if you ended up with that man and you had 5 kids with him? Like, you think he's showing up late for you now? Imagine him showing up late to you and your 5 kids at a soccer game. Like, that would feel even worse if you had kids with him, right? So the sooner he's giving you this data, the better. And then all you have to do is sit back, relax, observe him, and decide, is this good data or is this bad data? And is this the type of data that my future husband would be giving off in the relationship? And then you have your answer. You don't have to worry about telling him what to do or trying to customize that man. Just watch him, pretend there's a screen of glass between you and him, and think, am I observing the actions of the man that will become my husband? Yes or no? And then it becomes super clear and you can finally relax in dating, and dating becomes fun because you don't need every guy to work out. You only need to meet one guy that fits you perfectly. You've got this. Your dream man is out there.
Quick theology of divorce. The Bible says in the book of Malachi that God hates divorce in some translations. Let me just remind us what the Bible does not say is that God hates divorced people. That's really important. There are 3 things that in the Bible are very clear examples where God gives permission for somebody to divorce their spouse. One of them is death. In Romans chapter 7 mentions that when somebody dies, the marriage covenant is dissolved. And I just say that real quick. Some people are like, well, that's obvious, Josh. Sometimes as a pastor, you'll notice that when people that loved each other very much and a spouse dies, they get to the spot a few years later where they might want to remarry, but they feel guilty. And let me just say, like, you should feel no guilt about that. Death dissolved the marriage covenant. It's okay. Number 2, Jesus says in Matthew 19, he says that adultery or sexual immorality is a legitimate cause where it is permissible for somebody to divorce. The third one is in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, and it talks about abandonment by an unbelieving spouse. So like, 2 people get married, one of them becomes a Christian, and then the dude is like, I didn't want to be married to a Christian. You want to do Christian things. I'm out. He leaves. 1 Corinthians 7 says, hey, it's okay. You're free. And then I would also add, in the case of abuse, it is at least separation is often necessary. Legitimate cases of abuse, at least separation. Now, what I want to point out on this, so that's the theology of divorce, you're going to notice that Jesus says that Moses permitted a husband to offer his wife a certificate of divorce. It does not say that he commanded her to do so. In the same way that, like, if I break my ankle at playing basketball, my first option isn't to cut off my foot. That's a last resort. But then if it gets infected, the amputation is the last resort. Why? To keep the rest of the body from dying.
We know, facts, marriage is overwhelmingly unsuccessful. It is way more dangerous than skydiving. Yes, you die from the skydiving, but the chances of a catastrophic skydiving incident is like 0.0003, and one where you die is 0.00001. It's like very limited, the chances of dying from skydiving. Whereas the chances of divorce, again, 56% divorce rate. How many stay together who are unhappy and they just stay together because they don't give up half their stuff or for religious reasons or whatever? This is a technology with an unbelievably bad failure rate.
Do more people die from marriage or skydiving?
Well, I think more people wish they were dead from marriage than skydiving. I think most people's sense of self, many people's sense of self dies as part of an unhappy marriage. Like, it's not a question of will you die? It's that you're alive and not living your life in a way that's enjoyable or in a way that's authentic to who you are. And I think a lot of people are doing that as a function of the choice that they made of marriage. And again, I'm not saying don't get married. But what I'm saying is, when someone says, I'm getting married, why is it impolite to say, why? Why? You're about to do something incredibly dangerous that fails so much of the time. Why not just say, why? I'm not saying, why would you do that? It's stupid. I'm saying, why? Because most people's answer doesn't make any sense. Well, because, I don't want to be alone. Wait, you have to get married to not be alone? Join a church group. I don't know. Join a baking squad. Join a softball team. You won't be alone. What does that mean? Well, I want to have, regular sex. Okay, I don't know that getting married is the solution to that. Like, it's not a guarantee of regular sex. First of all, you're not even allowed to ask the question why. If anything, if you don't say, oh my God, that's so great, you have intimacy issues.
Men have started going their own direction and quit fixing the mistakes and the foolishness. And some of the stuff is not even a mistake. It's just you doing whatever you want to do and expecting a man to save you. And when I, as a man, have stopped doing that, my life has gotten a lot better.
I'm going to speak about something today, and I need you to really listen. Some women are not built for marriage. And don't get me wrong, that doesn't make them bad people. No, that's just who they are. But the problem is, they don't realize it, or they do and won't accept it. If you pay attention, you'll see the signs. She resists direction. Guidance feels like control to her. She doesn't want structure, she wants freedom on her terms. She enjoys the vibe, the attention, the excitement, the variety. Not because she's empty, but because she's not wired to stay. Yeah, trust me. Someone who is always chasing moments will struggle to build something lasting. She prefers the lifestyle, going out, having fun, moving how she wants. And there's nothing wrong with independence, but commitment, that's different. Marriage requires presence, consistency, accountability. And if that's not in her, a ring won't create it. So what happens? She enters something serious, but nothing really changes. Still unavailable, still disconnected, still not showing up. And now there's a man, ready to build something real, but he's with someone who was never meant for that kind of life. And that's where confusion starts. Not because anyone is bad, but because they are mismatched. Listen, not everyone is meant for the same kind of relationship. Forcing it only creates frustration, distance, resentment. So let me ask you, can you recognize who someone truly is before trying to change them? Be honest, drop it in the comments. And if you want more real conversations like this, follow me. Don't just listen, apply it. I'll see you in the next one.
This is how you take your power back in a long-term relationship or marriage when you can't just pick up and leave. Step 1, stop carrying all of the emotional labor. He comes home from work, you ask him how his day was, you make him feel important, you listen to that boring story about his annoying coworker, you make his life easier. You remind him to call his mother about the kids' appointments and the birthdays that are coming up. You are like the emotional glue that is holding his life together, and that is a privilege for a man who honors and respects you, not a man who's taking you for granted. And step 2, this is probably going to be the hardest thing for you to do if I'm being quite honest, but it's turning all of your energy inward. He's in a bad mood, he's pissed off. leave him alone and take all that energy that you would have invested trying to cater to him and trying to mother him and make him feel better and invest it into yourself. Go out with your friends and look amazing. And when you come back, be in an incredible mood, because that is how you quietly show him that he is not the center of your world and he is not the only source of your happiness. And if you have kids and you can't leave the house and you're making dinner, please make a dinner that you like, even if him and the kids don't. And when he says, "Where's the protein?" let him make his own damn dinner, okay? He is a grown man. And step 3, do the most for yourself. I know when you've been disrespected, the instinct can be to try and understand what childhood trauma has caused him into acting this way. That is not what scares him. That is not what makes him respect you more. You know what makes him shake in his freaking boots? When you become indifferent to the disrespect and you get hotter. And not for him, but for yourself. It's a gift to yourself. You are a woman who makes promises and keeps them. And quite honestly, that is how you're gonna build the strength to leave if you need to. So the mantra in all of this is every time I am being taken for granted, I do less for them and I do the most for myself. I get hotter, smarter, and more capable.
Well, honestly and truly, most of these modern women want to get their hearts broken by Chad and Tyrone. For the rest of us who actually want to improve on ourselves, we're going to go somewhere else and do that. And that's what today's sponsor, Anson Belt and Buckle, helps you to do.
Okay, guys, I am super nervous. I have a date tomorrow, and it's been a long time since I've dated. I'm actually flying to New York, and it's kind of a big deal. So anyway, I am supposed to go to sleep right now. It's already like 10:30. I have to be up at 4:30 in the morning to catch my flight at like 6 o'clock because I got to get to New York super early, and I can't sleep. I don't know what to do. God, I never, like, I'm 55. I should not be nervous about going on a date, but this is a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, because I've gone through a lot in past relationships, I guess I feel a little apprehensive about what to expect. And I know I've done a lot of work on myself, but, I still feel a little uneasy about things. And I mean, I'm confident and I know I'm a badass, and I know what I want. I'm not going to settle. But it's still like nerve-wracking, You can be prepared 100% for something and still be nervous. And I think that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with me. I think it's okay to feel nervous, and maybe it's a good thing. Maybe that means I care, right? So anyway, all right, I gotta go to bed. But I wanted to get on here and let you guys know tomorrow's first day of the rest of my life. All right, I'll keep you updated.
I see so many women on TikTok. Of course, they're like liberal, complaining like, "Oh my God, dating's so hard in the city. All men are trash. All men are garbage." Blah blah. It's like, do you think if you've been dating and you're in your late 30s and every man has had an issue with you or not wanting you, do you think that at some point the common denominator might be you? Maybe you're the problem. Maybe it's not like the 4.5 billion men on the planet. Trust me when I say there are thousands of people suitable for you. I think it might be you. You might be, if you cannot obtain a partner, you might be nuts. Also, I don't understand this thing, like, it's so hard to date in the city. I understand the challenges of the city. Where would you rather be? The cornfields where there's 5 people to date? What, do you want to go to an Amish community? I'm so confused. In this city, you have literally the most amount of options. I don't understand. What's better? What's a better option? I don't understand these things.
Well, the problem is that the liberal women will only date liberal men. They won't date conservative men. They won't date Republican men. They won't even date people that are middle of the road. They want to date the liberal men. And we all know that liberal men are just chicks with dicks. The reality is that most men who are super liberal don't buy into the traditional masculinity. And unfortunately, I know a lot of women will debate this, but masculinity is a good thing, especially if it's done properly. I'm not talking about running around and infiltrating a village and killing animals and beating each other up. I'm talking about providing, acting like a man, taking responsibility, providing leadership, being strong, working out, taking care of yourself, taking care of your lady. Masculinity. Liberals should try it. It might work out for you sometime.
Unpopular opinion as a feminist. As a feminist, you will never see me touch that check. It's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And I know people are gonna say, you want equal rights, so you should have equal responsibility to the bill. No, equal rights and equal responsibility is not the same because of the fact that it will never be equal responsibility. A lot of times, especially because you can't have a baby. Like, you can't have a baby. It's not gonna be you giving up your body. It's not gonna be you having to sacrifice your career. If that kid gets sick, who are they calling from work? 9 times out of 10. Exactly. Who suffers from that long term from their career? Exactly. So no, I will never, I just never ever. Another thing is like wanting to have equal rights, wanting to be treated as an equal, wanting to be heard, wanting equal pay, but we will never fully have equal responsibility. So no, respectfully, like, I don't want to hear it. Pay the bill, cut the check, like, put the car, I want the Amex on the table, I don't want to hear your mouth. Like, I'm sorry. It's just never going to be fair, and it's never going to be equal, and that's okay. But the least you can do is cut the check. The least you can do is, like, just cut it. Like, I'm not saying never ever. Your birthday, like a promotion at work, something we're celebrating, cool, like, fine. But, like, on a regular basis. And shout out to the 50/50 warriors, because I think they are brave. They are a pillar to the community. Like, honestly, doing all of that, and a lot of y'all have kids, you're a pillar to the community, and you're holding down the household, like, pillar to the community. Like, they're warriors, and they don't get enough credit. They don't. That is just not my ministry. That is not my plight. But I respect wholeheartedly everybody who does it. I respect that. Like, I'm not strong enough for that.
A lot of these modern women like to comment on a man's masculinity. And if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Well, I believe a man should be this, and this, right? But I think the problem is a lot of these modern women really don't have a concept of what a man is. You can have an opinion, but the unfortunate thing for a lot of these modern women is their opinion is wrong. Their opinion of what a man is and what a man should be is wrong. That's not actually how a man works. That's not actually how masculinity works. They don't know that. They're just talking about what they read in some book somewhere.
The avoidant has the power until you do this. Stop carrying all of the emotional stuff for both of you. And this is what you're going to do. Step 1, be willing to avoid the avoidance. Get really good at doing your own thing so that you can step into step 2. 2, emotional sovereignty. It's time to notice the pattern and change your role. Step 3, practice nervous system regulation daily. This is going to get you into a new identity, not only in your mind, but in your body. Step 4, plan for withdrawal. It's going to happen. We have to be realistic. This isn't going to be comfortable. I'm detaching from something I had dreams about, I had visions about, I was wanting. It didn't happen. So step 4, withdrawal is inevitable. 5, clean up your visibility wounds. It's time for you to stop avoiding the deepest part of yourself, the part of you that wants to avoid this avoidance, the part of you that doesn't want this to be the reality, the part of you that doesn't want to start over, the part of you that's like, oh gosh, I have to go into those painful experiences in my emotional body to set them free. Step 5, when you get real about this, you accept what's going on. You also accept your part as the one who allowed this avoidance in the first place, because there was a part of you that didn't feel worthy. There was a part of you that was avoiding the deepest part of yourself, which is your shine, which is your visibility, which is your next level. Then you move into your new identity of going all in on yourself and just watch what happens. July 6th, I'm starting my newest inner work class. We are dealing with all of this, 8 weeks with me live.
If you're interested, comment the words inner work. I'm only taking 3 to 5 people max. We will be diving into the subconscious realm that is blocked to you, but I will be able to see it because it's neutral. I'll teach you how to become the neutral observer of these deep emotional experiences and step to your next timeline. Let's go all in. Just comment inner work.
A good provider can still be a bad husband. A man can pay every bill in that house and still be failing his wife. And before somebody get in the comments talking about, well, at least he paid the bills. Baby, paying the bills is important, but marriage is not a utility company. Your wife doesn't just need the lights to stay on. She needs to know her heart is safe with you too. Because you can provide financially and still be emotionally absent. You can make sure that mortgage is paid and still make your wife feel lonely. You can give her everything she wants and never give her the one thing she's been begging for. You. Your attention, your love, your affection, your honesty, your presence, your effort. A paycheck can provide a lifestyle. It cannot provide intimacy. Money can put food on the table, but it cannot comfort your wife when she's emotionally breaking down. Money can buy the ring, but it can't make her feel chosen. And fellas, I'm not saying that provision doesn't matter. It does matter. A man who works hard, sacrifices for his family, makes sure that his family is taken care of and protects them, deserves to be appreciated. But don't let the I'm a provider become an excuse to avoid everything else that marriage requires. Because your wife may look at you thinking, I know you work hard for us, but I don't think you work hard for us. There's a difference. And ladies, let me turn the mirror around too. Don't use your husband's emotional needs as an excuse to disregard what he contributes either. Some men are killing themselves trying to make sure everybody's okay while nobody ever asks who's making sure he's okay. Marriage isn't supposed to be I pay the bills, so leave me alone. And it isn't I take care of the house and the kids, so you owe me everything. That's not partnership. That's a transaction. Marriage is two people saying I'm going to take care of you and I'm going to care about you. Because at some point, the question isn't what do you provide? The question becomes how does it feel emotionally to be married to you? And that question right there will tell you a whole lot about the health of a marriage. Provision matters, but so does presence. Love you, bye.
The reason that so many men think that they have been falsely accused is because men and women have very different definitions of what constitutes a rape or a sexual assault. Men tend to think that false allegations are much more common than they actually are, even though all of the data that we have on the subject shows that true false allegations where the woman is straight up lying are incredibly rare. Because it's estimated that between 2% and 5% of accusations are truly false, and the rest of the guys who think that they've been falsely accused are simply misunderstanding what sexual assault is and what it really means to have a woman's consent. Men only conceptualize of rape in one specific way, and that is strange man jumping out of the bushes and holding you down with a knife and like raping you very violently. But that's not how most women experience sexual assault. It's usually somebody that we know. It's a friend or a boyfriend or someone we're on a date with. And oftentimes when a man is making you have sex with him, it is not as physically violent as you're probably picturing. Oftentimes it comes in the form of a man just not taking no for an answer. Sometimes as a woman, you're trying to let a man down easy and you're saying not tonight or maybe next time or no thank you, and he just keeps quietly pushing past your no because he doesn't actually care whether or not you want it. And oftentimes that man will walk away thinking that he didn't sexually assault you even though you said no because he didn't get physically violent with you. And to be clear, that's very wrong. If a woman tells you no and you go ahead and have sex with her anyway, you have raped her. It doesn't matter that she didn't fight you back because she froze up. It doesn't matter that you didn't hit her in the face. You have raped her. And this is men's problem to fix, right? Because it's not just that men are uneducated about what consent looks like. It's that men have been deeply incurious about what sex is like for women or what it's like for a woman to be alone in a room with a man who is being very pushy and not taking no for an answer. There seems like there has been no attempt by men to understand why there is this sexual disconnect between men and women and why a woman might walk away from an interaction feeling very violated while the man thinks that he did nothing wrong. If history is any indication, I'm sure that men will continue to not attempt to understand women whatsoever and will instead keep calling their accusers liars and whores.
This battle, this men versus women battle that's going on, I need for men to realize that this is a losing game. Especially because it's a long game, and women are much better at men than playing the long game. Because women are the planners, the thinkers. And so I think men need to really get their shit together. Because I'm seeing so many women vocalize their disdain, their dissatisfaction, their hatred of men, and men meet that with aggression and with more disdain. Men are saying, well, I hate women, I hate you too. And men need to realize this ain't the early or mid 1900s where your girlfriend or your wife had no choice but to deal with you. Because if she didn't have no bank account, she didn't have no real human agency. Women work. Women are earning a lot of money, more money than some men. Women are educated. Women have autonomy. They have choices. And so now that provider role that men used to serve, women don't need that no more. And a lot of women realize, wait, children are actually a burden. If it's not going to be 2 people helping just one, that's too, I got goals now. Women focusing on their goals. And so this chronic lifetime of being single that means just hang over women's heads, that don't work no more. Because women are finding other things in life to be more fulfilling. And so, yeah, man, this is a losing battle. Get off that motherfucking high horse. Listen to women. Be a better man. That's all women are asking for just men to just be better men.
So you turn down your husband for intimacy, and then he gets pretty cranky for a few days, cold towards you, kind of snarky. And that makes you not want to be intimate again, because you're like, why would I want to be intimate when you're treating me like this? Which just makes him perpetually more cranky and more snarky because he's living in a state of rejection. So we call this the resentment cycle. You're both in a state of resentment. You're resenting him for being cranky and difficult and maybe harsh and unkind. And he resents you for rejecting him on the most intimate and vulnerable level possible in the bedroom. And so because you both live in a state of resentment, you're also both now acting out of a state of resentment, and the cycle continues. Probably bleeds out into other areas, right? How you're parenting, how you're dealing with your finances, how you're showing up as partners in the home. And you're beginning to feed off of each other's negativity, being resentful and then resentful in return, and resentful toward him and he's resentful towards you. It is a cycle. It is a pattern. It is like a ping pong game, and you have served up resentment, so he serves it right back to you. One of you has to shift something if you want this dynamic that many of you have been living in for years, if not decades, to change. One of you has to be the first one to say, I'm going to change my participation in this cycle. Instead of dishing up resentment, I'm going to dish up love. Like you, ladies, you could say, I am going to make him feel loved sexually today. I'm going to go above and beyond to make my partner, the father of my children, the love of my life, feel loved today. This shouldn't be a crazy concept, but you have to step outside of resentment and recognize that your resentment pattern is contributing to the negativity of your relationship just as much as his is. So whichever one of you is listening, stop waiting for the other person to change. Be the change so that you can get off of this resentment merry-go-round and start to have the relationship that you want again.
And you know, you have to understand that when you ask about where all the good men are, a lot of these men are quiet. They're right in front of you. They didn't disappear. They just quiet. I'm selective. I'm less willing to throw myself into another situation that looks and that feels unserious. You look and you feel unserious. This whole thing that we got going on looks and feels unserious. It looks like you playing around. You about to play with my money, about to play with my time. Some of these brothers got kids, and you about to play with my kids. And if you start doing that, you might have